So good morning to all of you. Let us begin today's lecture. It's lecture 10. I will be covering the following topics in this lecture. I will begin by discussing the group operator and the aggregate functions. Then we'll discuss the tokenize function and the flatten operator. Based on that, we'll be discussing the word count program and be covering a case study, the most occurred start letter. So we'll be finding, the most occurred start letter in a given text file. Then we'll be reviewing the operators sample, rank, and order by, and then we'll start the concept of joins, both inner as well as outer. If time permits, we'll be discussing the EMP and the department datasets case study and the movie review datasets case study. And obviously, a few polls are always there for just to see that all of you are in with me or not. So let's begin. The group operator. So as you have learned group by in SQL, the group by option in SQL. So similar to that is the group operator. All right. So it organizes your relation into groups based on specified field names. That means you can group your relation on field names, or you can group your relation with an option all also. Okay. Other options are also there in the syntax, but they are mostly the admin options. I've written, you can take a snapshot of this slide, and the meanings of other options are there. Don't look too much into them. Let's just focus on what group by does. So it organizes your relation data into groups based on specified field names. All right. So the syntax would be relation name equal to group relation name. Either you will write all or you will write by some field name. Okay, so you can group your relation using some field name, and the idea behind that is to, why we group our relation is to get some summarized information from our data file or a data set, some summary information, maybe some counts, some average, maximum, minimum, standard deviation, things like this. So to get the summarized information out of our data set, we can take the help of the group operator. All right. Then the group operator, it produces two fields of data. Once you group your relation, the new relation contains two fields. Okay. One of the fields is named as group, while the other one is a bag which contains all the columns of the data from the relation that you've used. So bag is a collection of tuples. Okay. So when you group your relation into a new relation, the new relation will have two fields. One field named group will contain the data from the field upon which you have performed the group operation. Okay, the name of that field would be group by default. And the second field in this new relation would be a bag, that is a collection of tuples. All right. For example, if I load a file employee.csv with the following schema and store it in the relation M here. Okay, and then if I group M by DNO, that is a department number, then a new relation department group is formed. If you describe this new relation, you will see that there are two fields in it. The first field is the name is group, and data type of course is int, because it takes the data type of this DNO, because you are grouping on by DNO. And the second field is a bag. The name of the bag is the name of the relation on which you have grouped the data. So the name of the bag is M, and it contains all the columns that were there in your original relation. Also remember that when you apply the group operator on a single field of a relation, like we have done here, we have group M by DNO. This is a single field. So if we apply the group operator on a single field of a relation, all unique values of that field are considered groups. Okay, and all null values are considered as one group. So null values are combined together, taken as one group, and all the unique values in that field are considered as groups. If you specify the all option, okay, then it would allow you to perform aggregate or summary operations on your entire relation. Okay, we'll discuss it how to work with the all option. But first, let's begin by this grouping on individual field, and let's see how it needs to be done. So for this purpose, I'll open up the terminal and I'll start the distributed file system services. Most of you in your sessionals, you were not able to write this command, how to start the distributed file system services or the yarn services. Most of you are not able to write that. I'm surprised. Some of you have written start-dfs.sh, but mostly people have written something from, picking it up from the net, not on their own. All right, the services have started. So let's start pig in the MapReduce mode. That is, just by writing pig here, we'll start pig in the MapReduce mode. So we have got the grunt shell. Let's now load our emp relation. Okay, so load. It's in the root of the distributed file system. We'll load this relation using the pig storage function, the separator as comma, and let us give this some schema here. So as you know, emp table has 8 columns. So right now what I'm doing is I'm giving it some field names like this without specifying any data types. If need arises, we'll give the full schema also along with data types. But right now I am just giving the names of 8 columns as A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. And I'm loading this file emp, right? So if I dump this, obviously you will see the similar 14 records of the emp table. I've added one more record because in today's topic of joins, I would require that. So you'll have 15 rows to be, displayed in front of you. Okay, the last row I've added on my own. 1, 2, 3, 4, Ajay, manager, and so on, right? So we have loaded the emp table and we are going to discuss the group option. So if I want to group, say, for example, if I want to group this relation X, okay, in which the emp.txt file is there, if I want to group it by, say, department number, right? So have a good look at this table and tell me how many groups would be formed. You can raise your hands to answer this question. If I group this relation with the name X on DNO, okay, on my last field, that is H. So I'll just give you the schema also for X. Okay, so last one is the department number, that is H. So if I write something like this here, group X by H, okay, then how many groups would be formed? Kindly raise your hands to answer this question. How many groups would be formed? Okay, Mani has raised hand, Ritika has raised hand. What about others? I just discussed this thing in the beginning of the lecture today. Should be able to answer this. Okay, let's have an answer from Mani. Yes, Mani, unmute yourself. Mani is not able to unmute. Mani, unmute yourself.
Yes, sir. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Yes, sir. Sir, three groups will be there.
Okay, 3 groups. Fine, fine, fine. All right. Let's ask one more person. Yeah, Ritika is there. Yes, Ritika.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Ritika.
So 4 groups will be there.
Okay. Let's ask Prince also. Yes, Prince.
So 4 groups will be there.
4 groups will be there. Fine. So we'll go with the answers given by Ritika and Prince. Mani, 4 groups should be there. There are 3 departments, 10, 20, and 30. So 3 groups with the department 10, 20, and 30, and one is a null value group. Okay. If you were careful enough to see, the last employee, that is Ajay, does not have a department number. Okay, I did it deliberately so that I could ask you this question. So Mani, if you have understood, you can give me a raised hand. All right, thank you, Mani. So let's describe this first. We'll see the details later on. Let's describe Y. Have a good look at it. Okay. So you can see that the relation Y, which is a resultant of the grouping of the X relation by the department number, it has got 2 fields, as you can see. One field is group. okay, and group would take the data type of the column or the field H. So that is byte array, of course. And the second one is the bag. And the name of the bag is the relation on which the grouping was done. So the name of the bag is X, and it contains all the columns of the relation X. Okay, so the resultant of a group by operation results in a relation having two fields. One of them is called group, and the other one is a bag, which takes the name of the original relation and contains all the columns of that relation. All right. So let's now dump this Y. Let's see what we have got in Y, right? Let's dump Y. So I think you can clearly see that the relation has been, the relation has been grouped, and you can see the first group is 10. Okay. And all the employees who are there in 10 are there. All right. The second group is 20. All the employees, all the data of the employees which belong to department 20 is there. Then department 30 is there, and the last one, the null group is there. Can you see null group in which there is one employee Ajay? All right. So this is how grouping is done, and this is the resultant, right? What is the resultant? Look carefully. This is the resultant, the relation Y, which is a result of the relation X being grouped on the column H, that is the department number. So it results in two fields. One field is named as group. You will use the word group for this, okay? And the second one is a bag. Bag is a collection of tuples, okay? Which second one is a bag with the name as X. That is the name of the relation on which the grouping was done, and it contains all the columns of that relation. So I hope you've understood this first basic thing in group by. Let's go back here again so that we can see. We were discussing this, that the group operator produces two fields. You've just seen that. One field is named group. The second is a bag, which contains all the columns from the relation that you've used. So the bag has the name of the relation on which the grouping is done. So you can see here, when you say, if you group this emp table, okay, this emp relation, which results in a new relation department group, then this department group will have two fields. One is the name as group of data type, obviously whatever is a data type of DNO, and the second one is a bag with the name as emp, that is the name of the relation on which the grouping was done, and it contains all the columns from there. Okay. And when you are doing grouping, important point, that's why I've highlighted all unique values of that field. So we are grouping on DNO, like we are doing in our example. Also we are grouping on DNO. All unique values of that field are considered groups. So let's go back to our terminal. Okay. So if you can see here in your relation X, okay, you can see here that for department number, the unique values are 10, 20 and 30, and one is null also. So unique values are all taken up as groups. So we will have three groups, 10, 20 and 30, and all the null values, they also go into a single group, which is indicated by a null in place of group. So if I dump the value of the relation Y for you, you will see the three groups. Here you can see group 10, which contains all the values, all the people who belong to this. Then group 20, okay, then group 30, and the last one is a null group, okay, where the DNO is missing. So any employees who have not been assigned any department number will fall into this group. All right. So if you have all understood the basic of group by, you can give me a raised hand so that we can move ahead, move further, and keep noting down small things that I am discussing with you. They would be very important for you. Okay. Now what we should do with that, okay, what we should do with this group by, we have grouped the relation X on DNO. What is the idea, what we can do with that? So I may ask you a query, to find the total salary of employees department wise. So that means, what is the total salary in department 10, what is the total salary in department 20, and so on. Okay. For that we have got aggregate functions. Okay, just like you had aggregate functions in SQL. Okay, if you remember, sum, count, average, min, max, right? The similar functions are here. These functions in Pig Latin, they are written in uppercase. Okay, keep that in mind. Functions are written in uppercase. So let's do one first query to find the total number of employees department wise. Okay, the total number of employees department wise. So let me write this. Can somebody tell me how to go about it? We have this relation y, which is a result of the grouping of relation x on department number. Now I want to find uh, the total number of employees in each department. Okay. If I dump x for you, just a check here. If I just display what is there in the emp.txt file, you can see that there are 6 employees in department 20, 6 in 30, 2 in 10, and 1 is a null one, right? Okay, so if I need to see it, I need to project from the grouped relation. So my grouped relation is this. Okay, I'm taking a little bit too long to explain this concept so that you can understand, because we are going to apply this concept in our case studies, right? So you should be very clear about it. So this is a grouped relation y. Okay, so now I want to summarize, this relation y. I want to count the number of employees department wise. So can somebody help me with a query? First, how to do it, and then the actual query. You can raise your hands to answer this question. The first thing obviously is what operator to use for it. That should be a simple question. Nobody is willing to try. That's a simple question. How to get this projection? How to get, how many people are department wise? So that's simple. I think we need to use for each operator for it. Okay, we need to use the for each operator. So I'm going to use the for each operator. So I'll use the for each operator on relation y. And what will I generate? First, if I need to generate the department number, so that value I told you is referred to as, the name of the field is group. And the second one would come as an aggregate function. So you can write here count, and then you can write here the name of the relation. Okay, let's write x and see whether it works. Okay, so what I'm trying to do is, I'm from the relation y, which is a group relation, I am generating the group values. So obviously the values that would be generated in place of group would be 10, 20, 30 and null. And along with that, it will count the x values, that is the number of rows in the table. Okay, so if I dump here, dump a, okay, let's see what output is given, and then we'll correlate it with our query. All right, so it tells you that in department 10 there are 2 employees, in department 20 there are 6 employees, in department 30 there are 6 employees, and null department has got 1 employee. That is, an employee is there without any department number. All right, let's extend this. If I just want to count, how many people get commission department wise. Listen very carefully, right? How many people get commission department wise? Okay, so what I should do, what query should I write, what change I should make here? Yes, suggest please. If you don't answer, we won't be able to discuss the case study. That I can tell you. I'm describing the relation X for you so that you can see the column names. Our commission column is G, right? F is your salary, G is commission, H is the department number. You should be remembering these column names. Only if you understand the description of your data set, only then you can analyze it properly. You don't need to remember anything. You know that in your data set, the first thing is the employee number, then the e-name, then job, then hire date, then MGR number, and so on. Okay, So I'm interested in finding a number of people. I want to count the number of people department wise who get commission. Can somebody help me with this query? So what you need to write here is, I think, x dot h. Okay, so from the bag I want to count the count of the column h. Or I've written it incorrectly, I think. H would be the last one, right? So G, that is a commission. Okay, A is equal to for each y generate group count x dot G. What is the answer now? Will it be the same? Will it be 10, 2, 26, 36, null 1? Would it be the same or would it be different? And it is exactly similar to your SQL count command. Okay, I'll ask somebody because, yes, Mridul, unmute yourself. Mridul, unmute yourself. Can you hear me, Mridul?
Yes, sir.
Yes, Mridul, can you please answer what would be the output here? Say yes or no.
Yes, sir.
What is the answer for this query? What would be the count?
So different over.
Different क्यों होगा मृदुल? Reason?
Sir, because according to commission के according count कर रहे हैं.
All right. Okay, let's ask Ritika. Ritika, unmute yourself and answer.
Yes, sir. So null values will not be counted.
Yes, very good. Like in SQL, this count function will not count null values. And we know that there are null values in the commission column. Okay. So if I run it, okay, and if I dump, we display the values on the screen, we will see that nobody gets commission in department 10. Only 3 people get commission in department 20 and 4 people get commission in department 30, and there's a null department also in which the person is getting a commission. Now extending this discussion on count, if I use this function instead of count, what output do you expect? If I use this now, count underscore star, there is a count underscore star function. All right, Ritika has raised hand once again. Yes, Ritika, go ahead.
So null will be counted this time.
Yeah, so count star and count, the difference is that count star would count all the values from a column, including the null values, whereas count would include only the non-null values. So see the different output in this case now. It will be again the same as 2, 6, 6 and 1. Okay, so I hope the difference between count and count star is clear to you. So a quick review for some of you who are just finishing your breakfast. What we discussed today was this. We loaded a file m.txt into relation x, then we displayed its contents, then we grouped it by the last column, that is h, that is the department number. So if we describe this new relation, it will have 2 columns. One is named as group, the other one is a bag with the name as x, that is the name of the original relation, and it contains all the columns of that relation. So you can perform summary operations on this bag. Okay, the summary operations could be count, okay, could be count, count star, sum, average. We can try it. So to display the summary, you need to project it. So for that you use for each y generate, the first column is group and the second here you will have an aggregate function like we used count. So if we wish to count the total the total commission department wise, okay, or the average commission department wise, okay, then we can do something like sum. Let's find the total salary department wise, right? The sum we have column is F, right? So it should be X dot F. So what I'm trying to do is from my group result, I'm generating the group and the sum of the total salary in that group. So if I dump here, you'll see department number and total salary. Okay, so in department 10, the total salary is 7450. In 20, it is 12,000 something, and so on. Okay. Now, how many employees are there in each of these departments? Let's have a quick answer from someone. How many total employees? We just discussed that. How many total number of employees are there in department 10, 20, and 30? So that I can ask you one question. Yeah, please respond. If you don't respond, I repeat again and again, you won't learn. You are paying for this to learn. So kindly pay attention, right? Ritika, once again, only one student is answering. Okay. Yes, Ritika. Okay, let's change it, like, let's have Prince to answer. Yes, Prince.
Sir, 2661.
2661. So stay with me, Prince. If I use the average here, okay, Prince, अपना calculator या mobile पे देख लो अगर आपको calculator use करना है तो. If I use the average here, you've told me how many employees are there. If I use this, okay, and if I dump this, what would be the answer? Give me the answer for the first or the second one. What would be the answer for 10, the average salary? So much time you're taking. Should be 7450 divided by 2, right? That should be 3725, I suppose. Isn't it? Prince, are you able to hear me? Prince, can you hear me? Please respond.
Hello, hello.
Yes, Prince. Okay, Prince is not able to respond. Let's ask Ritika.
Yes,
Ritika.
sir.
Ritika,
So
what are the...
first will be 7450 by 2.
Okay. So let's
A
check whether
second.
we are on track or not. Okay. Actually, what I want to ask all of you is, if there are some people who don't get salary, okay, if there are some people who don't get salary, how does it affect the average?
They will not be counted.
Okay, so if say in department 20, just for example, there are 6 people, 4 of them are getting the salaries. So then the average would be calculated by dividing the sum by 4 and not by 6. That is what I want to tell you people. Okay.
Yes,
So
sir.
see the results of this term. Thank you, Ritika. The result of this term, you can see the average salary department wise. It will show you. So you can see it has calculated it by dividing it with the number of employees. So if there are null values in that column, those would be counted, those won't be counted while taking the average. So this was one thing about group by. Let's now discuss a function tokenize. Okay. Let's discuss a function tokenize. Very interesting function which would help us in our case study. So this tokenize function, it splits a string into tokens and outputs as a bag of tokens. Okay, tokens or words you can say. So it splits a string into words and output it as a bag of words. Okay, your file may be space separated, a double quote separated, commas separated, parenthesis separated, star separated, whatever. It will split it. Okay. Now see the example clearly on the slide. Please pay attention, all of you. Let's suppose we have got a file c.txt in a folder data. So if we load this file in a relation lines of text and we dump this lines of text, you can see the contents of the file c.txt. This is a line of text, yet another line of text, third line of words. This is what is there in the file c.txt. So if I use this, tokenize function on this particular file, okay, then it would split it, each row into a bag of words. See what is the output if I use the tokenize function. Kindly pay attention here. I have written here, for each lines of text, that is this relation, generate tokenize line. Line is the name that I've given to the column, okay, to the field. I've given it here. If I don't write here as line colon char array, if I don't give a field name here, if I don't give a schema, then instead of line I can write $0. I hope that's clear with you. Now what happens to this line? This is a line of text. See how it is converted. It is converted into a bag of words. It's separate now. All these words are separate but in one line right now. Okay. So this is what tokenize function does. We'll see it also, but just you take a screenshot of this slide. Okay. Now let's go further. There is another operator which is known as a flatten operator. Okay. So we have a bag, okay, a nested bag in the previous this thing. Here we have a nested bag, okay. There are many things in this. This is a nested bag, okay. So this flatten operator can flatten it. The flatten operator can flatten it, okay. So if you use this flatten operator on that function, okay, if you use this, so it would give the output like this. In one line there would be only a one word, okay. All right, if we use a flatten on this, now we can do it in one go also, but I'll first show it to you in two different phases. First I'll use the tokenize function on a relation, and then I'll flatten it, okay. You'll understand it once I use it. So we'll target our file. Let's see this file. Okay, we have this file mary.txt. Remember, Mary had a little lamb, it's fleas. So we'll first tokenize this file. Okay, so let's load it into some relation, say A. Let's load it into the relation. I have put it in the distributed file system. Remember, we are working in the MapReduce mode, so local mode won't be picked up. The files need to be picked up from the distributed file system. So I can show you that this file mary.txt is present in my distributed file system. You can see it here. You can see this file here, mary.txt. It is present in the root of the distributed file system, right? So I've loaded it here, all right? And I can give it a schema as this. The name of the column, the field is line, remember, right? So I've loaded this file. Obviously, if I dump this file, look very carefully, this is the basis of our first case study today, right? So I've loaded this file. Obviously, if I dump it, you will see the same 4 lines. Mary had a little lamb and so on, right? You'll see that file here like this. Okay, so if I just correlate it with my presentation, you can see here that there was this file, this relation lines of text. So it displayed these lines like this. This is a line of text, yet another line of text like this. So in our case, we have got this 4 lines, right? Okay, so let's use it to project it by tokenizing it. So for each A, generate tokenize, the name of the field was line, as, say I give it a name as token. I give the name as token. Okay, if I dump it now, what resultant would I get? Raise your hands to answer this question, please. If I use this now, if I tokenize this, remember Mary had a little lamb, 1 line, its fleece was white as snow, 2nd line, and so on. If I just tokenize the lines, what will happen? Can somebody answer? Okay, Vasu Malik and Shaurya Sharma, very good. Yes, Shaurya, unmute yourself.
So it will be separated each by word by word.
Very good, Shaurya. Let's see the output, Shaurya. Stay with me, Shaurya.
Yes, sir. Yes.
So we'll see each line, the words would be, it will be converted into a bag. Can you see? Mary separate, had separate, a little like this. Okay. Shaurya, if I just flatten it, what will happen now? stay with me. Let me just type
Yes.
this, and then you can suggest. I'll just use generate flatten, and then flatten. I need to flatten the token which has resulted, right? I gave it the
Yes,
name
sir.
as token,
Tokenized line.
token, and then the word,
Word.
right? There's some problem here. What's the problem?
For each generate product.
Okay.
So,
What was? Didn't we use a token here?
tokenized line is
B. Okay. We needed to use B. You know, B is already there, which is tokenized. Okay. So we need to use some other relation name here. We need to use C, and we need to project from B, right? So for each B, generate flatten token as word, right? What would be the resultant now, Shaurya? If we dump C,
so it will rearrange the words.
no, it won't
Nested
rearrange
bag,
the word.
एक bag form में.
No, in the bag form we had in the previous tokenize. Okay, I'll dump B for you first, Shaurya. Yeah, somebody is raising hands. Okay, Vasu Malik wants to answer. Okay, Vasu. Shaurya, stay with me.
Okay, sir.
Vasu,
Sir,
can
it-
you?
Yes,
Yeah.
sir. Sir, it would display one word in one line.
Perfect, perfect, Vasu. So it will display. It will, flatten the bag. Bag को
Yes.
flat कर देगा. Bag को खोल के एकदम हर एक word एक एक line में आ जाएगा. Can all of you see on screen? Okay. So now we can do so many things from this point onwards. Okay. For example, if I've got a huge text file, all right, and I want to count the number of words in it, can I do it? If yes, then how? Like I'm now going to discuss the word count, program with you. I want to discuss how many words are there. You can count them on screen, I suppose. How many are there? Let's see who can answer first. How many words in this file? Okay, Money wants to answer.
22.
Yes, 22. Very good. Yep. It's a small file, but like Money, are you there with me? Okay, Shaurya is there. Shaurya, can you tell me how we can do it?
So by using by by sum or by हमारे जो aggregate function sum or by word count program अगर हम उसे use करना है.
First answer you gave correct, that by using the aggregate function, obviously, है ना? तो उसको क्या करते हैं, Shaurya? What we do here is our function is
Sub
C,
A but C
right?
right
So
now.
so we
Right now, C.
can do Z is equal to group C. I'll use this all. Okay, group C all.
Okay.
What does it mean? We have not discussed it so far. So it will group C all. Okay, so let's see it first, and then we can. Very interesting. See, when you group, when you group it, I'll just put the screen upwards. Yeah. When we group it, then when we group it on the entire relation, okay, then you have a all as the first value, and the rest, the entire values, they go into a bag. You can see the words have gone into a bag.
Bag.
Okay. So from that bag, you can use a count function to count them. That's it. Okay. Do you understand, all of you?
Yes.
When I use this group C all, I've used this in Z, and the resultant of Z is here displayed in front of you. There is a column all, and within that, after that, second field is a bag of values where all the words are there. So if I want to, perform some aggregation on it, I can just use this for each Z, generate group, comma, count, and I can give the relation name here, count C. That's it. Remember these words, these words which are in the bag, they are referred to by the relation. So this relation name on which the grouping was done is C. So if I write here F is equal to for each Z generate group comma count C, and if I dump F, what would be the answer? The answer that Money gave us, that there are 22 words. You will see it on the screen now. Understood, Shaurya?
Yes, sir.
All right. Thank you, Shaurya. Thank you very
Thank you, sir.
much. So in a short file, you can see, okay, we were able to count it 22 words. What's the big deal? Let's now load one big file so that we can understand what we are discussing. Let's load a file. Okay. Let's load a file which is having some 50,000 records. This file, dataset-movies.csv. This is also present in our distributed file system. Okay. And say as line char array. Okay. I'm loading this file. So what are the steps if you want to count the number of words? You take a file, okay, then you use the tokenize function, and on top of that you use the flatten function. Tokenize would convert it into a bag, and flatten would flatten that bag so that we have one word per line. And then we will group it by all option and we will count, right? So let's write, we have already done this. We have loaded this thing. Now this flatten and tokenize, I'll go in one line now, okay? See all of you, A is equal to for each, what was the name? R. R is the relation name, right? So A is equal to for each R generate, just write like this. Instead of two, operations, just write like this. As word, right? So we have generated, from the relation R, which is our file. Now we have one word per file. So let's see how many words are there now. You'll be surprised to see the number of words in A now. Just look at the screen as it scrolls. Okay, any guess how many words are there? Let's have a quick guess from a few people. ये तो कोई भी कर सकता है. Guess ही लगाना है कि कितने words होंगे इस फाइल में जो स्क्रीन पे गए हैं. तो काउंट कर लेंगे हम ग्रुप करके. Can somebody answer how many words are there? Any guesses? रोहित से पूछ लेते हैं. रोहित अनम्यूट करो अपने आप को. रोहित कुमार सिंह.
Hello, sir. Good morning.
Good morning, Rohit. How are you?
Good, sir.
रोहित क्या लगता है ये जो हमने फाइल इतने वर्ड्स हमने जो किए हैं, फ्लैटन किए हैं, कितने वर्ड्स होंगे जो हम काउंट करना चाहते हैं?
सर कोई कमांड यूज करके देख सकते हैं हम.
नहीं, वो तो कमांड तो ग्रुप करके देख लेंगे. मैं आपसे वैसे पूछ रहा हूँ कितने वर्ड्स होंगे? 1 लाख, 2 लाख?
सर पता नहीं चल रहा, बहुत सेट ऑफ डेटा है तो पता नहीं.
अच्छा ठीक है, गैस ही करना था. ठीक है, रितिका गैस कर रही है. यस रितिका.
So approx 2.4 to 5 lakh. 2.4 to 2.5 lakh.
ओके ठीक है. लेट्स सी नाउ, लेट्स सी हाउ टू काउंट इट. वो आपको पता ही है कैसे काउंट करते हैं, है ना? ये हमारे पास जो रिलेशन आ गया ए, है ना, इसको हम ग्रुप कर लेते हैं. ठीक है. सो Q इज इक्वल टू ग्रुप ए ऑल. ठीक है, इसका एक ग्रुप बना लेते हैं और ऑल के साथ. एंड देन वी कैन write here T is equal to for each Q generate group comma count, and I can write here A, right? So in the count you write, because you're going to count from the relation, the grouping is done on the entire relation. So in count you will write the relation name on which the grouping is done. Okay, let's now dump T. Ritika said 2 to 2.5 lakhs. Let's see how many in actuality are there. How many words are there in this file? So it's 4,97,069. Right? So this is the number of words, and it has counted in a few seconds. Okay. So let's now have a look at this program like we did it in parts. Okay, and let's have a look at the script file for this. You can write all these commands in a file. So this is X is equal to load this, then Y is equal to for each this, then group by all, and for each this generate group comma this and dump this. Right? So this is the 5 commands that we use to count the number of words in this dataset-movies.csv. That is in the file word count. Okay. So if I execute this like this, you'll get the same result, right? Whatever, you know. Now all these commands would be executed in a sequence. So I'm going to execute this file word count, which would give you the same results which you just saw. That is a script file that we have written now. Okay. So if all of you have understood this word count program, you can give me a raised hand. If something needs to be asked, you can ask also, but I think we have done it in great detail so that we have understood how the word count goes, right? Okay, thank you. Now time for a quick poll, right? All of you be ready. Lower your hands and time for a quick poll, right? Remember, it's a quick poll and an easy poll, I suppose. So be ready for it, right? The poll is in front of you now. Take your time, read it, answer it on your own. Easy question. Be careful in answering. The answer is very obvious. We spent 45 minutes in discussing this question only. Okay, last 10 seconds now. Last 5 seconds. I'll close in 5 seconds now. Please be quick. Yeah, I'm going to close this poll now. All right, I'm going to share the results with you. 57% have answered correctly. 2 columns, right? So we saw that in so many times. I don't know, you're not paying attention maybe. See, this we discussed. The group operator produces 2 fields of data. I've highlighted it for you also. So 2 fields, 2 columns. Somebody has written any number of columns, 3 columns. So you should be careful while answering, right? All right. So let's see if there is another poll for you guys. Let's see if there is another poll. No, right now it's not there. Okay. So let's now discuss a case study. The most occurred start letter. Okay. Let me first tell you what this case study is. See, I've got a text file with me, and there are, you know, hundreds and thousands of words in that. I want to see what is the number of words which start, maximum number of words which start with a particular alphabet. For example, there could be 100 words with the alphabet A, 500 words with the alphabet D, and 600 words with the alphabet S. I'm taking an example. So I'm interested, the answer should be that S600 is the answer. Okay, so I'll formally put this case study in front of you. Have a look at it. Most occurred start letter. Yeah. No. Let's. Okay. So this is how you need to go about it, right? This is the case study, right? So let's pick up a file from our file system. Yeah, let's see the distributed file system first. Let's see. Yeah, there is a checksum file. Okay, there is a file checksum. Let's look for that file here also. It'll be here somewhere. You see, there are many words like HDFS starting with H, blocks starting with B, like this. So I want to count that which alphabet is the most occurred, okay, which is the most occurred, which occurs maximum number of times as a starting letter of a word. All right. So for that, I need to first load it, right? I need to first load the file. So I can load this file. It's in the root of the distributed file system. Let me give the name as this only, as line char array, right? I've taken the column name as line. And then in the second step, I will use for each A, I'll do the same thing. I'll flatten and tokenize. Obviously first tokenize and then flatten it as word. Okay, so this till this point it's clear. Can somebody now suggest what we should do? How to do this thing? And I'm definitely expecting an answer from all of you. Yeah, waiting for an answer from how to go about it. All right, Shaurya wants to try. Yes, Shaurya, go ahead.
सर हमने फाइल लोड एंड टोकनाइज कर ली है. अब हम उसे सर चाहे तो दूसरे रिलेशन में करके हम उसे एग्रीगेटेड फंक्शन इस्तेमाल करके कर सकते हैं.
देखो एग्रीगेट कैसे करेंगे, हमें क्या करना है कि फाइल में से वो देखना है अल्फाबेट जिससे सबसे ज्यादा वर्ड शुरू होते हैं.
तो सबसे ज्यादा नंबर ऑफ वर्ड अगर हमें चेक करने हैं तो सर हम पहले तो इसे ए और बी हमें सी रिलेशन में लेके आना पड़ेगा. सी रिलेशन से फिर उसके बाद हम उसे कर पाएंगे आगे यूज.
करेंगे कैसे शौर्य, आप थोड़ा सोचिए इसको. जब हम वर्ड काउंट करते हैं तो हम इसको ग्रुप कर लेते हैं, राइट? तो हम क्या करते हैं शौर्य, ग्रुप कर लेते हैं ना. अभी क्या करते हैं शौर्य, इसमें से देखो हमें वी आर इंटरेस्टेड इन व्हाट, वर्ड्स में इंटरेस्टेड हैं कि फर्स्ट लेटर में इंटरेस्टेड है, ये बताइए.
फर्स्ट लेटर में जो रिपीट हो,
फर्स्ट लेटर में इंटरेस्टेड है ना, वर्ड में नहीं इंटरेस्टेड. हम देख रहे हैं कि वर्ड किससे शुरू होता है, राइट? ओके, सो फॉर दैट इफ यू रिमेंबर वी हैव लर्नड इन एसक्यूएल देयर इज अ सबस्ट्रिंग फंक्शन.
यस सर,
है ना. If we want to extract something from a string, we can use the substring function. The same we'll do here, Shaurya. We'll use for each b, we'll generate substring. Then किसमें से substring निकालना है? Sorry, word.
Words.
Is that fine?
Yes,
all of you have a look from word. Okay. Starting from 0 and only picking up only 1. So that means the first character we are picking it up. Okay? So this we do. Sure, stay with me.
Yes,
I'll be dumping both the outputs. First the B output in which we flattened and tokenized. Okay? Have a look at it. What B looks like, the relation B, what type of, it will display words in one line. One word per line, as you've seen previously. Is it clear to all of you? Okay. And if I now use this substring, okay, if I now dump C, so you will see that it will now display the first alphabet of all the words that are there. Fine. See now. शौर्य समझ में आया?
Yes sir.
अब शौर्य बताओ क्या करना है. अब आसान है, अब आपको आंसर देना है. We are almost there. Somebody else who wants to answer can count से पहले क्या करते हैं? किसको काउंट करूं? अभी काउंटिंग के लिए कुछ भी नहीं है.
सर फ्लैट बैक को फ्लैटन कर दें.
नहीं, वो तो हो चुका है.
नहीं, तो ऑलरेडी हो चुका है, कर चुका है. टोकनाइज.
I'm surprised. I'm expecting an answer from many of you. That's so simple. Okay, Shaurya, thank you. Thank you. You've answered good.
Thank you sir.
So you see, now you just need to group. You just need to group. You did this, okay? So remember, you did this. So letter. Now you group by this letter. The column name is letter. So you write D is equal to group C by letter. If you don't want to write letter, you can write $0 because there is only one field in it. The field name you've taken as letter. If not letter, you can write $0 here also. Okay. So group C by letter. If I dump D, you will like the output. चलो उसके बाद पूछ लेते हैं. Still there are operations left. See the effect of grouping. Can you see now? There is a group 1. See the number of values there. 7, number of values there. A, like you see how many words, you know, occurs how many times in words. The first starting one. What next? Come on, all the programmers, where are you? Okay, Vasu Malik now wants to answer. Okay. Yes, Vasu, go ahead.
Sir, then we will do that B is equals to for each A generate group comma count.
Very good. Very good answer. Perfect. So for each, I think we use D, right? मैं भूल जाता हूँ नाम. D. Yeah, D. So E is equal to for each D generate group comma.
Sir, we have used, I think so, A for that.
No, we use D only. What was the relation name? C, I suppose. I think it's okay now. Let's see whether we got it or not. So we get the count of each word. You see it on screen. You can see 1 occurs 4 times, 7 occurs 3 times, A occurs 1 time. So all of you just have a look. The answer is there on the screen. What is the maximum, you know, first occur letter? अब तो हाथ खड़े कर दो कोई, बता दो क्या आंसर होना चाहिए. The answer is there on the screen. Okay. Mani, Vasu, Ritika. Okay, let's hear it from Ritika. Yes, Ritika. Ritika, unmute yourself.
So it will be A.
So the most occurred is A, है ना? Ritika, how to get to this answer, please? Suggest now the steps. How I should get to this answer? If you are
can order by.
we can use order by. Okay, fine. So we can use F is equal to order E by. बोलिए.
By
$1. Okay, that's it. Ritika, your voice is breaking. Please come in some good network. Yeah.
descending.
Descending. Perfect. So descending. ठीक है. इससे क्या होगा कि $1 is your second field. Okay. The first field is $0, D, 10. So D is $0, 10 is $1, like this. Okay. So if you just order it on $1 and in descending order, A39 will come at the top. Okay. So let's dump F and C. Ritika, stay with me. So you'll get it in ordered form now. Okay. You get the output in ordered form. So grouping is the expensive task, will take some more time. Can you see now? Ritika, how to get to the final answer? We have lost Ritika, I suppose. Let's find her again. Ritika, unmute yourself.
Yeah.
Ritika, how to get the final answer now?
We
Anyone?
can display the first row by limit operator.
Very good. So we can use limit F1, right? And then if we dump,
Yes,
we'll
sir.
get the answer. Perfect. Thank you, Ritika. So we'll get A39 as
Thank
the
you,
answer.
sir.
Okay, beta. So we'll see the output as A39. Limit, what it does, it limits your relation. So if you write limit F1, it will display the first tuple from your relation F. So you can see the answer on the screen now. It's about to appear. So this is the most occurred word in our file checksum. Okay. So we can do it on a huge files also. Checksum was a small file. Okay. So if all of you have understood this case study and you have liked it, you can give me a raised hand, all of you. You have done quite good work today. Yeah. But I'm not getting response from all of you. I want each one of you to participate. So many students are there. Yash Jalani, Yash Udewal, So many people are. Simran is there, Guleen, Mridul is not, Narinder Pal is not answering today, Paras Kumawat. आप लोग क्यों नहीं आंसर कर रहे हैं? Participate कीजिए सब. It would be good for all of you, right? Okay. So let's do some light work now. Lower your hands, please. Thank you. Let's do some light work now, a revision sort of thing, okay? So that we don't get lost, and then we'll go with the joins, right? Remember, very important, these functions and operators, tokenize and flatten, they would help you in a large number of case studies, right? Then let's go with this split and sample. Let's once again discuss it. We discussed it in our previous class. Split and sample operators. So split operator would divide your relation into two or more relations based on the condition you specify. And obviously it is the opposite of join functionality. So join is there to join two things. Split is there to split one thing into multiple things. And it could be at least two. Okay. So you need to split something into at least two or more. All right. And the syntax is there, split relation name into relation name 1 if condition, comma, relation name 2 if condition, comma, so on. And then otherwise option can be used with that. So let's have a quick review of split here. I don't know what's there in X right now. Do we have the M table or not? I'll do the same example which you did in the previous class. Yeah, so X is our M table. I need to split it into, let's say, I want to split job wise. Can somebody help me? I'm waiting for your answers, please. I need to split the relation M job wise so that values of each job come into separate relations. Difficult? Okay, let's ask Yash Udewal.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Yash. Can you give me an answer, Yash?
So we can do it by split, that split X into
Yeah.
then the job name that we want to split different.
Relation name, right? So let's pick it as
Yes.
A1. Okay.
If condition,
Hmm.
job,
We don't have a column name, so I think we have to see. Dump करके देख लेते हैं एक बारी. So I don't remember the column names. हमने ABCD दिए हैं वैसे. Let's see now. You can answer now. You can help me to write. Okay. So
Yes.
A is equal to, oh sorry, split X into A1 if. Yeah. Go ahead now.
if C,
Okay. Right? If
yes,
C is
sir.
equal to clerk.
comma C equals to equal.
No, A2
Relation, yes, sir. If
if.
C equals to salesman,
Okay.
comma the next relation A3, if C equals to manager,
Okay.
next relation A4, if C equals to analyst,
Okay.
next relation A5,
और भी है?
yes sir, president,
एक ही बचा है ना?
yes sir,
ऐसा लिख दें, कॉमा A5 otherwise कर दें?
yes sir,
Let's see it works or not. ठीक है?
yes,
कुछ प्रॉब्लम हुई है इसको. I think some case problems I suppose है ना? हमने वो caps किया था ना on.
yes, The C analyst. Yes.
ये तो ठीक है, ये भी ठीक है. Now I think it's okay. ठीक है.
Yes.
So one thing, Yash, you tell me the relation name capital A4 and relation name lowercase a4, are they the same relations or different?
So different.
Very good. So uppercase and lowercase are significant here. So let's describe them, I suppose. Describe to see whether relations have been created. Describe A1, it's there. A2 is there. A3 is there. A4 is there. A5 is there. A4 is not there, you can see, because this is A4.
Capital. Yes.
Yeah, right. Let's just dump one of them, say A5. A5 में एक ही row होनी चाहिए. President, let's see that.
Yes, sir.
Let's see that. A5. I hope you've understood. Once again, we have just reviewed this split operator. I think it's clear to all of you. We use this. You can see the syntax here. Okay. You can see the use of otherwise. You could have written A5 if C equal to president also. Like you can use otherwise if, you know, no other option is there. All right. Let's now discuss the sample. So what is the sample operator? Let's load a big file here. Y is equal to dataset hyphen movies.csv. The comma separated values file, right? You've loaded this. Now I want to take a sample out of it. Usually, you know, when we are doing some experimental work, we have got data sets having millions of values. So just to pick up a small sample from the data set and to check whether, you know, how does it behave with our analysis, we can take out some sample out of it. So we discussed that we can do it with this sample command like this. Sample by, say, 0.1. Okay, and obviously we discussed that this sample is based on some random function. Okay, and based on that random function, the algorithm, it will generate a 10% sample given this command. Okay, so after the sample and relation name, you give a value between 0 and 1, which indicates a percentage. So a value of 0.1 indicates 10%, a value of 0.5 indicates 50%, and so on. Okay, that you know. So if I tell you that this file dataset-movies.csv has got 49,590 records, so can you give me a quick guess how many values would be there in A? We are taking a 10% sample of that. So a quick guess, if I'll store A, right? I won't dump it. Store A into, say, Q11 in this one. Okay, I'll use this store A into Q11. Somebody to, you know, join with me so that we can have a quick discussion about sample, and then we'll have a poll, and then we'll start with the joins. So someone who wishes to have a discussion with me on this sample would be a good one. So नरिंदर पाल आपको ले लेते हैं, आ जाइए. Narinder, please join.
Yes, sir.
Narinder, this file dataset-movies.csv, this dataset contains 49,590 records, right? I'm taking a
Yes.
10% sample. I'm going to store it into Q11, right? Okay. Can you tell me
Yes, sir.
approximately how many records would be there in this relation A? Any guess? 10% of
Sir.
49? Around 5,000?
Sir. Yes, sir. Around 5,000.
So we'll see it on screen. Stay with me, Narinder. Around 5,000
Yes, sir.
records, you say. Okay. So it is 4,932. Okay. And you see,
Yes, sir.
if I give it another run, if I again go with a store, okay, Obviously we need to change the directory name. If I again go with the store, then we can see that it will, the answer will vary now.
Yes, sir.
We see now it is 4974. Another run,
Yes, sir.
let's give it another run. Yeah, let's give it another run. Another 10% is 4917. So it varies, okay? And remember, it varies because I'll put one more slide for you today, which I did not in the previous class. It is based on this only this function which runs it. So you can use a filter also. There is a random function, okay? So if you, instead of sample a 0.1, if you write filter a by random less than equal to 0.1, would result in the same thing. So this random function does the sampling task in pig, okay? And as you know that this random function is non-deterministic, so that's why your answer, your sample will vary with every run. And also the percentage would not be an exact match, but close. So this is not a very sophisticated sampling algorithm. It's simple one, a random function that you use in Python also, okay? So efforts are on to add more sophisticated sampling techniques, but yet right now we have got this random function only, okay? So if I just copy, can I copy it from here? Yeah. Let's copy it. Let's see if it runs here. Okay, let's see if it runs here. We are able to paste it. Yeah. So it is filter A. Our relation name was, what was our relation name? भूल जाता है, यही गड़बड़ है. Y. Okay. Relation name is Y. Okay. So let's filter Y. Random is a function, so you need to write it like this. So this command is equivalent to what the sample command you just did. Okay, so it will give you a 10% sample from your relation Y. Obviously, if you are using filter, so we need to have another relation on the left. Okay, and then we can store Q, right? So we can write store Q into, say, like this. Okay, so let's see how many, around 4,900 sort of, you know. So you can see 4913. So remember, your sample is based on the random function, which you can apply using this also. This is similar to your, this Q is equal to filter Y by random this, or if you use this is one and the same thing. All right. Understood, all of you? A quick raise of hand, you know, would be a good thing to judge that you are listening and are you with me? Okay, fine. Okay, then let's have a poll. Rather two polls, right? Be ready with. Okay. The poll is there in front of you. Try on your own, that's my request. It's easy. Ten seconds more. Last 10 seconds now. Ending the poll now. Sharing the results with you. 59% of you are correct. It is 1.5%. So between 0 and 1, if it is 0.1, it is 10%. So if it is 0.015, it is 1.5%. That is the correct answer. Okay. So thank you. Let's get back to our work. Let's now discuss about the rank function. Okay. So that we can, you know, understand how it works. So rank is used to give ranks to your tuples in your relation. Okay, I'll start with a small example because I think last time it was not very clear, I suppose. So let's have a quick review of rank function. Let's see if we have got some file. There's no such file. Okay, maybe in our local file system we have. Yeah, we have a file z1.txt in our distributed file system. Okay, so fs-cat/z1.txt. Okay, this file will help us to understand. Now we have got 3 records in this file z1.txt. Okay, so the first one can be taken up as roll number, then name, and then marks. I'm going to give it a rank now. Look carefully. First we will load it. So I load it. I'll load it like this. Okay, and then let's dump it to see whether all is good with this file. Yeah, so if I just give it a rank now, it is, the name is A, right? So if I write here B is equal to rank A, right? Simply this command only. Okay, so what will happen if I dump B now? What will happen to the output? Yeah, somebody to answer please. We have already discussed this rank operator. If I dump A, yes, Mani.
Sir, indexing will be the like 1, 2, 3.
Which one? Which row will get 1?
So first row
Okay.
and second will be 2 and third will be 3.
Okay. So if we do it just like, without any, just say rank, it will just give the ranks as 1, 2, 3, and it is not given. Okay, we did something wrong, right? Dump B. So we get the ranks as 1, 2, and 3, right? Okay. So if no, ranking usually should be done on some basis. If you just use rank just like that, it will rank the row starting from 1, 2, 3, like first row as 1, second as 2. These are the ranks. Let's suppose I want to rank it on marks. Okay, the third column. So what I should do here is I should use B is equal to rank A by say $2. So now I'm saying rank A by $2. Okay, and I'm not mentioning any order, so by default it will be in ascending order. So what is the output now? Can somebody tell me quick? What ranking would be given to the rows now? Okay, Sonam wants to answer. Yes, Sonam, go ahead. Ritika has also raised the hand. Yes, Sonam.
Sir, first will be Kapil Sharma, then Kevan Kapoor, then Ajay Sharma.
Perfect, perfect. Very good answer, Sonam. So we will get the ranking like the lower ranks first, because lowest marks would get the first rank because it is in ascending order. Okay. So that is what Sonam has answered. The answer has now come in front of us. Waiting for the answer to appear. Yeah, so Kapil Sharma first, then Seema Kapoor, and then Ajay Sharma, because the ranks, the marks are in ascending order. So if I do it the other way around, if I mention here descending, so you can see now it would be Ajay Sharma as 1, Seema as 2, and Kapil as 3, right? So let's pick up our emp data set here so that we can understand this thing in a better way. I'm going to give it a schema also, okay? I'm going to give it a schema also, right? So as A, B, C, D, E, F, you see, while we are doing ranking on, say, integers or floats, on byte array, the answers would be different. So if we say want to rank by salary, it will give you incorrect if you don't have a schema for it, okay? And G and H. So remember, what's the problem? Where have we made the mistake? Can somebody point out what error is there? I'm not able to locate. Money wants to suggest something. Okay, Money? Yes, Money?
Yes, sir. Sir, we are not writing load operator.
Very good. जब ज़्यादा काम कर लेते हैं, then we forget some basic thing, huh? Good.
Yes.
We are not writing. Thank you,
sir.
Mani. You can
Thank
mute
you, sir.
yourself. Thank you. All right. So we loaded this. Now remember, we have given salary column, that is our sixth column, the name as F. So two things I want to discuss. If I rank this on the basis of salary, rank X by F descending. Okay. या असेंडिंग कर लेते हैं. इसमें एक चीज आपको बतानी है, रैंक x by f ascending, okay? And then if we dump t, then the first rank would be given to the lowest salary and so on. That all of you know, right? All of you know that thing. First rank would be given to the lowest salary, right? You can see it on screen now. Ranking, order by, these are very expensive tasks. So imagine if we have thousands of records in a data set, it will take that much longer. So you can see the first salary is 800, then 950. See the ranks for them. That's the thing I want to discuss with you. 800, 950, 1100 is rank 1, 2, 3. Then Ward and Martin have got the same salary, so they get the same fourth rank. Okay, and the next rank is given to Miller as 6. This is how it goes by default. So sometimes we are not comfortable. We say, oh, where is the rank 5? Okay, but normally if two people are having rank 4, then the next person gets the 6th rank, not 5th. But if you want to see it your way, then you can use a dense option here. Okay, you can use a dense option here. Right, if you use a dense option, then the ranks would be continuous. See the output now. The ranks would be continuous. With that, I'll just have a quick poll and I'll shift to joins, right? Let's see what the dense option does. It gives us continuous ranks, right? Now you'll see 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, and then 5, not 6. They'll be continuous. No rank would be missing. You can see the difference, what the dense does. It's now on screen. I think it's clear now. See the ranks 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, and then 5. So no rank is missing. This is possible with the dense option. Okay. So a quick poll for all of you, and then we start with joins. The poll is there in front of you now. Simple, we have just discussed it. So I just, finalize the things. Be careful in answering, right? Take your time to answer it. Ten seconds to answer now. I'll close in 10 seconds. Yeah, closing the poll now. Sharing the results with you. I would go with the fourth answer, both 1 and 3. Okay, I'll go with both 1 and 3. All right, because rank is used and dense is also used. So the correct answer is both 1 and 3, right? So some of you have written dense. Well, that can be taken as a correct option also. Even rank can be taken, but a perfect answer would be both 1 and 3. So let's see where we are now. Sample, distinct we have seen, rank we just saw. Order by you also know. We can order the output either in ascending or descending order. Okay. So that is all for the operators part. Now let's start a new operator today. Okay, the join operator. Okay, so giving you a quick 2 minutes water break. Okay, so let's discuss the join operation. So join, as you see, is used like in SQL you use the joins, is used to extract information from 2 or more data sets. When you want to extract, when you want to pick up information from multiple data sets, then you can take the help of join operation. And joins are of various types depending upon the scenario in which you are using them. So if you are using, if you want to extract information from one table in the sense that you want to join it to itself, then we take it as a self join. Okay, so for self join, let's first see whether we have this same table, M table with us in X. For a self join, as you can see, this we'll see this M table. In M table, you see this first column is the employee number, and this fourth column is the employee number who is the manager of this employee number. So this will tell us that employee number 7902, that is Ford, is the manager of Smith. Okay, so if I give you a query in which I ask you to display the employee along with its manager, okay, then from where does this information come? From multiple tables or from this M table only? Just give me a quick answer. If I ask you this query that give me the name of the employees along with the name of their managers. For example, the output here would be Smith, Ford, Ellen, Blake, and so on, right? So this information would come from this table only. So it would be a case of self join. All right. So let me write one query for you. You've already done self join in SQL. Let's see how it works here. So for that, I need to have 2 copies of this table. Okay, this table, but opened in memory with 2 different relation names. So one is X. So let's see, where is X? Yeah, one is X. Let's load it. Then again load it with Y also. Load this m.txt and give it some different schemas here. I hope all the columns are there, 8 columns are there, right? So I have opened the file m.txt with 2 aliases. You can see here, one is X, one is Y, right? One is X, one is Y. So I'll join these 2 relations x and y, but in effect I'm joining a relation, a table to itself. Okay, so can you tell me that if I pick up one copy as x and one as y, then what should be matching from x with y? Can somebody tell me this thing? Which column of x should match with which column of y? The query is simple, I think. So if you match this column, this is A, right? This is A in relation X, and this column, this is S in relation Y. So you need to join these. Okay. So let's see the join here. Say D is equal to join X by A. So you give join X and then you give the name of the column on which to join. So join X by A, join X by A, comma Y by S. So I'm saying join the same relation but with different aliases based on this. So where A is equal to S. Okay. So let's see there. The first row would be A is 7369 here. Okay. So it will pick up 7369 from here in relation X and look for 7369 here. Okay. So 7369 would come somewhere here, right? Okay. So that would be the match if the match is there, right? So let's join it and let's dump D. You get a combination of values. Okay, we'll project. You see, it has been done now. Okay, so from this you just project the values. So you want to project the E names. So you want to project B and you want to project Q, right? So you write here T is equal to for each D generate a B and Q, and then you dump T, you get the desired information that you wanted. So self join is, initially when you start learning it, it's a bit confusing. So this gives you the people along with their managers. Okay, you won't find a president here because it has got no manager, remember? So you will have 13 rows here, not all the 14. Okay, so you can just correlate this. You can see the query that I have written for you. These were the relations. The same file was loaded using two relations and different schemas. Okay, so from here A is the employee number in X, and in Y this R is the MGR number. Okay, so they should match. So I matched them here. Yeah, it is S here, right? PQRS, the fourth column. Okay, so when you match them, they are joined, and then from the resultant you can project the columns. So I projected the columns B and Q. You can work it on your own and see. Okay, initially it would be a bit confusing, but then self join is when you join a table to itself. It's usually done by opening two different copies of the relation in memory by giving it different aliases or relation names and then joining them based on some condition. Okay. Then next is the inner joins. After self joins we have the inner joins. Okay, so inner join or equi-join, they are based on the condition of equality. Okay, inner join or the equi-join, they are based on the condition of equality. All right, so for this I'll use this table X to explain the inner join to you. This is the relation X, that is our emp table, emp relation, and then I'll load in Y the department table. I need to show you the equi-join or the inner join. I'll use the tables emp and department. So can somebody tell me what is common in these two tables? We have learnt it hundreds of times. So one more answer from you guys. What is common column in these two tables? Some people are raising hands. Only a few people are raising hands. I don't know the reason. अगर इस बार आपके एग्जाम्स जो हैं इफ दे आर कंडक्टेड ऑफलाइन इट विल बी डिफिकल्ट फॉर यू, यू सी। अभी तो ऑनलाइन आप चला रहे हो, ऑनलाइन भी डिफिकल्ट होगा वैसे, ऑनलाइन पेपर इज ऑल्सो डिफिकल्ट बिकॉज इट वुड बी रैंडमाइज्ड, but offline would be more difficult, so all the more reason for you to learn it properly. Do things on your own, especially in this paper, big data analytics. Once you understand, you can write any question, any query, I think. So let's use this. Let me give the names also, say PQR. Okay, remember a department file has 3 columns: the department number, department name, and the location of the department. So let's ask the people, yeah, Ritika, what is common in these two tables, emp and department? Ritika, can you unmute yourself?
Yes, sir.
What's common in these two tables? Which column is common? The department number column,
Sir,
right?
H and P department.
Okay,
Yes, sir.
H and P, right? So the last column in X, that is a department number, and the first column in the department table, that is Y relation, the P. So we must, join based on the equality of values in H and P. Okay. So if I write here for an equijoin, you write it in the same way as you write the self, as you wrote the self join. Only thing is that you are now joining two different tables. Okay. So let's use A is equal to, see the syntax, join the first relation by the column. So join the first relation X, the column is H. Okay, that is your DNO, department number, and Y by P. Okay, I'm going to join this. All right. So what happens with this join? How many columns are there in relation A? Question for you. How many columns are there in relation A? Raise your hands to answer this. How many columns in relation A? Let's ask Guleen Kaur. Yes, Guleen, unmute yourself.
Yes, sir.
Guleen, I've joined these two tables X and Y based on department number, right? H and P. See the syntax first, Guleen. Join the relation name, then by column name, comma, the second relation name by column name. This is a syntax. My question to you, Guleen, is how many columns would be there in A if I describe it?
Sir, 11.
Perfect. Very good. So we'll have all the columns from both the tables. So you can see the schema, and you see the relation, the field names or the column names, they are preceded by the table name. So A column belongs to X relation. You can see very clearly. Similarly, P belongs to Y. You can see the description here. Thank you, Guleen. Thank you very much. Okay. So if I, dump the values, you will see all the values. You will see all the rows which are matching. So can somebody tell me how many rows would be displayed here? Raise your hands to answer. If I dump this relation A, which is a join of relation X and Y on the basis of department number, how many rows would result? How many rows would be there? Remember, there are 15 rows in X and 4 rows in Y. I'll first show you that. Then I'll ask you. See the rows in X. Okay, there are 15 rows, but the last row is not having any department number. Keep this thing in mind. Okay, let me now dump Y. So this will have 4 rows. Information about departments 10, 20, 30 and 40. Right? Then we come to this relation that we have joined. So if I dump A, how many rows would result? Raise your hands. How many rows would result? Why not others? Why Mani has raised hand? Ritika has raised hand. What about others? Are you not learning? Let's ask Opinder, 274. Unmute yourself. Roll number 274, unmute yourself. Speak up or I'll mark you absent for today, Upinder. I don't think you are with us. Yeah. Please answer. How many rows would result here, Upinder?
Yes, sir.
How many rows would result? Unmute yourself again, Upinder. If you are
Hello.
not able to answer, I'll mark you absent today. अपना mic
Hello.
ठीक कर लो. अपना mic ठीक कर लो. You'll be absent. I'll remove you from the meeting if you don't answer. You can hear me. I can hear you. Go ahead. Upinder, shall I remove you from the meeting?
Four.
4 आएंगे. अच्छा.
Sir,
ठीक.
four group.
Okay. Let's ask Prince. Prince, how many rows would be there?
So 14.
Yeah, 14 rows would be there because there are 14 rows in which department number is either 10 or 20 or 30. So they'll match with this department table 10, 20, 30. This 40 won't have a match, and the last column, the last employee is not having a department number. It won't be a match. So you can see the 14 rows with the exact information out here. See now, see the values, employee number, name, job, MGR number, hire date, salary, there's no commission, department number 10, and then the join, the other table, department number 10, accounting, New York, like this. Okay. So this is the equi-join. See how it has come with this command. Simple. Join X by column name, Y by column name. So this H and P should, the join is based on the equality of H and P. In SQL, you used to write it like this: select this from this, where like something like X dot H is equal to Y dot P. You used to write something like this there. Okay. So here, this is the join, the equi-join based on the equality of values. Listen carefully, right? Equality of values. So wherever H and P values meet, one row would result. Okay. So this is your equi-join. From this you can make projections, like if you want to display just the employee number, the employee name and the department name, then you can make a projection here. For each A, generate A comma B comma Q. Right? So A is your employee number, B is your employee name, and Q is your this department name, right? So if you dump R, you will see the information, only the 3 columns would come now. You can see the output now, right? So you can see the employee details along with the name of the department in which he or she is working, right? This is regarding equi-joins. Let's now discuss about, so we discussed about equi-joins or inner joins also they are called. Sometimes we are interested in fetching the matched rows as well as unmatched rows. Like sometimes we are interested that, okay, the rows which are matching in both the tables are coming. What about the rows which are unmatched? So the unmatched rows can also be fetched by using the outer join. Okay, so in outer joins, what happens? You get in join, you get the rows which match and the rows which don't match also. Okay, so there are 3 types of outer joins: the left outer join, the right outer join, and the full outer join. So in the left outer join, when you join 2 tables, then along with the matching rows, non-matching rows from the left table, they are also added in the output. In case of a right outer join, the matching rows are there and the non-matching rows from the right table, they are also added in the output. And in the full outer join, the matching rows and the non-matching rows from the left as well as right tables are added in the output. Okay, so we'll just discuss this, how to write it. The syntax is the same. Let's first dump X. Okay, remember I'm showing this to you again and again because I want you to answer a few questions. So if I'm dumping X, you can see there are 15 rows. Remember this. Okay, and one of the rows, the last one, is not having any department number. Remember, right? There is no department number there. And in this relation, there are department numbers 10, 20, 30. Whereas in your department table, there is another row with the value as 40, which is not having a match in your M table. I hope you got the scenario. Now I'm going to make a left outer join. Okay, see the syntax now. So A is equal to, just write join X by, it was H, I suppose, H. Then you write the words outer join. No, we write here left outer. Yeah, we write here left outer. So I'm going to give you an example of left outer join. I'll ask you first what is the answer, and then I'll display the answer, right? So I'm joining X, like we are going to join on department number, which is column H in X and column P in Y. Okay, so comma Y by P. I've joined this. Okay, have a good look at it. This is a left outer join. I told you in outer joins, the output contains matched rows as well as unmatched rows. And in left outer join, the unmatched rows will come from the table on the left, which in this case is table X. Okay, so can somebody tell me how many rows would be there in the output, and what would be the extra row? How many rows and what would be the extra row? Okay. The rest of the class, I think, is not, again, Ritika and Mani have raised their hands. So let's ask Parth. Yes, Parth, unmute yourself. Parth is not there. Yes, Parth. Speak up. Yes, Parth, unmute yourself, speak up. Yes, Parth, we are waiting for you. We can extend this class. Okay, so Parth is absent today, no problems. We are not able to reach Parth. Parth को absent कर देते हैं आज.
Hello.
Yes. Parth has woken up from his deep slumber, I suppose. Yes, Parth.
No, sir. The mic was not responding.
Don't give me this. I don't want to use the word. Don't give me word. Right? You understand that. What is this? You've been learning online classes for almost 2-3 months now. Still, your mic is not in order.
No, sir. That was not the reason. The Zoom app got unresponsive. I was.
Yeah, it has not. It has never got unresponsive with me. I'm a superman, I suppose, right? You cannot control a Zoom app, Parth. What would you do, यार? ये बताओ मेरे को. अब एक Parth वो नहीं कर सकते हो. Zoom app को नहीं control कर सकते. अच्छा mic लेना है, लगा के रखना है. ये.
No, sir. I am using a good mic, but Zoom app got unresponsive. I was clicking on that unmute button.
All right. Answer this question then.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, answer this question. How many rows in the resultant relation A? We are doing the left outer join.
15 rows, sir.
How? This 15, you got the response from somebody, I suppose, not your answer. Otherwise, you would have answered quickly that how this 15 has come. So who sent you an answer, Parth? All right. Be attentive, right? Leave it. No problem. Yes, Ritika, please answer.
So 15 rows.
Okay. How?
So 14 matched rows, and rest all the rows from the left table. That is X.
So how many rows from left table which are not matching? That is only one. Okay.
One table.
The employee Ajay with no department.
Yes.
Okay. So let's dump to see whether the answer is correct. Ritika, stay with me, right? We're going to finish this lecture in the next 5 to 7 minutes. So we can see the 15 rows now in front of us. You see 14 rows which are matching. The 15th row is the employee details are coming from the left, but no department details are there because Ajay does not belong to any department right now. You can see the null values, the 4 null values from the department table because there is no matching. So this is our left outer join. Okay. So if I write here simply right outer join, Ritika, what will happen with the output now?
So 15 rows, but the last row will be from department table. That is 40 department number.
What would it would look like? Give me a description of the last row now.
First 8 null values.
Perfect. Very
and
good.
then, yes.
Perfect. Perfect. So we'll have 8 commas first indicating 8 null values from M table and then the details from the department table. This is the right outer join, right? And if I write here full, Ritika, what will happen now?
So 16 rows will be there.
Yeah, 14 matching, 1 unmatching from M and 1 from department, 16 rows. So if you dump it, you can see the 16 rows. So this is about, all about the joins. We discussed them in detail in SQL also. They behave exactly the same here. You can see 14 matching and 2 non-matching, 1 from left, 1 from right. Okay. So let's have a quick poll now. Thank you, Ritika. You can mute yourself.
Yes, sir.
So one quick last poll. All of you should participate in that. Easy question. Yeah, it's there in front of you now. Should be very easy, I suppose. I hope that it's easy. If you have understood the concept of outer join, you'll write. I'll discuss the answer with you once you've submitted, right? Okay, closing the poll in 10 minutes, 10 seconds, sorry. 10 minutes would be too long, Yeah, I'm going to close it now. Quick submission of your answers, please. I'm sharing the results. 35 students or 80% has answered true, which is a correct answer. Correct, why? Because in an outer join, even if there is no match, outer join is to join tables, which results in equality rows and non-equal rows, right? So even if no match is there, even then either you will get a unmatched from left or a unmatched from right. So you will get at least, value from rows from one of the relations, even if they are not matching. That's why this statement is true. So that's good. I think we have learned quite a few things today. I'll now give you a few case studies to work on. I'll put them in the group, right? Just give me a second.